the original one, and we're still replacing some of the beds and stuff into our pods.
Mm-hmm.
So like, this is what pods look like.
Oh, okay.
So here's one that we just put back up together. See, this one's empty, yeah. So in this here, if you look in here, you got like a bed, right?
Oh, and then shelves up the top. Yeah, okay.
You got a desk that they can, and then this is sort of like their 7x8 foot little.
Okay. And how many of these did you say you had?
In this section we have 28 downstairs here.
Okay.
So, and then over here.
And how do people, what's the qualifications for obtaining a space?
Mostly clean, not using drugs.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. And then, if you have a need for it. But you can see here, this is the bunk we have here. And then more down here, so
Okay.
we just have this all in there. That's the old part. The newer part's over here. Okay.
So what's the total amount of beds you have in here again?
There's 28 downstairs here, and then
28.
we have 26 men
Okay.
and 16 women.
Okay.
So
just over.
This is just that.
So that's what, just over 40?
70.
Oh, 70.
41 in the new one. Plus, so we're 69, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, 69. And this is like a wellness room where you can meet others, like a pantry.
Okay, yeah.
And hello.
Oh yeah, I've been in
Kitchen that we use.
been in this space before because I have been here.
Yeah.
Hello.
How are you?
Morning.
Morning. Good to see you. Yeah.
Hello.
Shirley.
Hello. And what's the typical length of time that folks stay?
Probably average 3 months, up to 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, the guys have their own laundry facility there.
Okay.
This is the new washrooms that we made here. Showers. So, anybody in here? I'm in here. Okay, so here's this is more for barrier free.
Okay, yeah.
And, but we put like these kind of things in here so that we're more practical.
Yep.
More say. So yeah, this is the women's is like this, only 2, except for it's got 2 showers instead of 3.
And this is the section that you just finished right over the last 4 years.
We got a universal washroom in there. And there's the women's.
Okay.
Showers are on there. And so here's the women's section. So there's 16 pods here.
Okay.
So there's a little more room here. And then again, there's a
same.
pod.
Yeah.
So we're half full right now with the women.
Okay. And there's how many spaces for the women?
16.
16.
Yeah. And we do have a room here that we have that we do as a lounge for overflow, but right now we just use some storage, but we're going to put that into more of the women's lounge. Yeah, we got all the lights on right now, it's not really open.
And food-wise and all that stuff, that's all provided for them?
Officially, no.
Okay.
But have we ever not?
Yeah.
It is the men's.
Okay.
So it's the same.
Yeah. So where did you get these pods? Did you
made them.
You created that yourself, or yeah?
We have our own welding shop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those are pretty. Not seen something like that before.
Yeah, it's our own design, just over the years of trying to, like what our goal was, is that people can have their own space, but they need to also be in the public a bit.
Yes.
Isolate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is our welding shop that we just kind of finished the beds in, but.
Oh, wow.
So we have jigs for making the beds. We're doing a real present that. So yeah, we made all the beds here. And one of the guys that used to be one of our clients, we hired him.
Oh, wow.
So we want to actually pour this floor here and get this office going here. So
Okay.
we need to do some renovations in here. That's the next plan. In here, and also in here, this used to be an old change room. We just kind of gutted it a bit. So we want to make this more of a janitor's room.
Okay.
We're gonna get a building permit and stuff, and so we just kind of, there was some leaking pipes in this pipe chase where all the showers were, so we just kind of took the chase wall out and then just dealt with the plumbing.
And is the relationship now with like the city and getting permits and stuff is easier to do it now?
Yeah, well, it's as easy as it is for anybody else.
Yes. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's easy. There's no extra burden.
No.
So yeah, so that's kind of.
I really like the idea that that you have not just you make everything in house, but that you hire someone that came from the situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, this place was built by a couple other guys like that too. We hired them for construction, so we employed them for a few years, and then it also helped them gain more employment. So
yeah. Okay. And it's all accessible and yeah.
Plus, that's where the permits are not that easy anymore. We get so pedantic about right to the inch.
Yeah, 100%.
Like those little holes there, they weren't. Like my interpretation is they got to be past here, right? You got to have 11 inches here, but no, they wanted 11
pass, yeah.
So better off and weld more. It's like okay, whatever.
So, and this is all done in house?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we had a concrete company come and do this.
This,
like
yeah.
This railings and stuff
is all in house.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like that kind of stuff, like can people volunteer that are staying here? Can they do that kind of stuff? Or
we do have a lot of guys that volunteer for like more like labor and or like bringing in stuff and moving stuff around. So yeah, we do have that, and sometimes we pay them a little bit depending.
Yeah,
it's not always good to pay people.
Yeah,
because then they use that money for stuff
100%.
That isn't really helping them.
Yeah,
there's a doctor's office there and there. We would like to actually purchase them using transition housing.
Okay, yeah.
So that's one of our goals we'd like to do, but it's all time, energy, and money in that order.
Well, and I think that's the big, with everything that we do see going on in the community right now, is that whole aspect of transitional housing and the ability to hold the people.
Yeah, we don't have our security cameras working either, so we really can't fill up until we do that. And that's it's about 15,000 because we have a big server. We got all the cameras, but the server went down. We bought a used one. They're like 200,000. So what you do is you buy a used one that like Kojiko or one of those guys can't use anymore. But then ours went down, so we have to get another used one. I went for like eight monitor services with a guard system.
Okay.
So we're open from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. 9
p.m. Yeah.
And we have a guard here.
Okay. And so people can just, they knock at the door and...
Yeah, the guy can see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that works out well. So yeah, that's pretty well the tour of the facility.
Nice. It's, what is your kind of... How can the public, or people like me, like we were saying in your office, like, how can we support and help? What are the things that we can do outside of the obvious time, money, and...
Yeah, the big thing always is cash, trying like buying those places and stuff, right? Doing what you're doing is really good.
Yeah.
As far as making awareness and trying to get people on board and stuff. It's not just us either. It's just like one of my, it's not complaints, but one of my observations is that we have all these service clubs that want like the Seaway and all them, like the Rotary clubs.
Yeah.
They're all by guys that are older than me. Right?
And it's the torch passing, right? Like it's the
no younger people, nobody in their 40s or 50s, 60s, hardly.
Yeah.
It's all 70s and 80-year-olds. So they're starting to close down because they can only do so much. But it used to be if you wanted to park, what you did is you said, well, let's build a park. We'll get together and we'll get in together and we'll get a bunch of guys and we'll build a park.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, the government should do it.
Yeah.
We are the government.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing. If you think about that, we are the government. So we don't like the government. Well, we are the government. So
yeah.
What don't you like about yourself?
Well, that's kind of been my one of the stances that I've taken is, we believe it's so easy to judge different people in governments and what have you. And at the end of the day, it really is. I mean, leadership from municipal to provincial to federal, at the end of the day, they're elected. And the real, I hate using the term, but it is real. The bosses are you and me and the citizens of the community. And so it's banding together and it's coming together and saying, okay, look, this is what we need as a majority. This is what we're looking for. And I think that's a real, like you said, you don't want to necessarily call it a complaint, but it's what can we do?
That's sort of the state of affairs.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, people complain. They say, hey, what's the use of voting? Well, if everybody did that. And then right now, with the way everything's kind of going with, it's getting more and more communistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And getting way more like that. That's not good. We have to, and then nobody really wants to rise up and kind of go against the machine because, like your bank account frozen or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
there's that fear level. We just have to go like here's the thing. I made a mistake with this place.
Mm-hmm.
I said, if I don't comply with the city, they could fine me $50 a day, and then it takes 2 years to get a court case. I could owe $50,000. They could sink.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
the reason why I went against what I believed was because of fear.
Yeah.
So that fear cost me in the end more like $168,000.
Mm-hmm.
Lawyer fees.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it cost me more because of my fear. And I had 2 other situations in my life too where I was fearful, and then I had another lawsuit with my company that I just ended up being Texas in court trial by jury.
Mm-hmm.
Like suing me personally and corporately, and it was just I just had to fight it. In the end, I came out good. But it was the whole fight, and it was like they were just trying to bury me.
Yeah. And
that we just have to stand up and not fear. Fear is our biggest enemy. So it's just like, if there's things we don't like for example, if everybody doesn't want to pay taxes, if every person in the country just stopped paying, what does the government do? They can do nothing. Yeah. They couldn't do anything because every civil servant would quit. Every police officer would quit. Everybody would quit, right? I'm not saying that we shouldn't pay taxes. We should, but at the same time, with the way it's going, it's like, okay, there's some kind of happy medium there, right? Yeah. Like where it's like we just say no, we're not going to do this.
Yeah, it's that understanding of what's the bigger picture for all involved, but at the same time, and I like what you said about fear, because a lot of times, I'm a pretty vocal and outspoken person, but fear can really tie you down when you believe in something. And I've always said, like, I highly respect people who don't fear and stand up for what they believe in. I think, we see some of it in today's society where there's the opposite side of it, right? Where they have no fear and they can really become, like you said, you get into that communistic style of whether you want to call it politics or lifestyle. But at the end of the day, harmony together, finding that medium where we have people in need. We also have people that are choosing to be where they are. And we also have red tape. We've also got government. We've also got, I call it the human condition right now, which is entitlement, right? I pay, therefore I deserve. And I think that's one of the things that, is figuring out, we pay not so that we deserve, we pay so that collectively as a community, we can survive. We can, and not even survive, but we can thrive. And that's kind of my thought process on it. What are your plans in the next few years? What are you guys, aiming for? What would you like to see happen?
Yeah, okay. First of all, I just want to say a couple things about government.
Yeah.
First of all, here's one problem with money. If you have lots of money, it stifles creativity. So the government has all the money in the world. They just print more.
Mm-hmm.
Now people could argue that and say, no, they couldn't write a check for $10 billion. But the reality is they just print more. That's why we're getting so much inflation. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They print more. And so money, and they never solve a problem because they just keep throwing money at it. That's not going to solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like this whole homelessness thing we have in Sarnia, money's not going to cure the problem.
Mm-hmm.
If we had $1 billion to spend a year, and we put everybody in, like 5-star hotels, it's not going to cure the problem. Because a homeless person, just because they're living in a hotel, doesn't mean they're not homeless.
Yeah, it's
an
a mindset
alcoholic that you take and put on an island, and you just physically force them not to have any alcohol, doesn't mean he's not an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So it's a mindset there. The other problem with the government is they're by politicians, and the politicians' number one goal is to get reelected. And one of the problems is we don't trust our politicians because 95% of them lie. Probably being generous, right? Or they don't tell the whole truth or whatever because they know that it's going to cost them the election. So it's like I remember my son lives in Edmonton. He said that 20 years ago they wanted to build a ring road around Edmonton. Everybody said no, we don't want it. The politicians said no, we need it for long term. So the politicians at that time built a ring road, and they got basically everybody voted them out. 20 years later, everybody's glad we got the ring road. We got the ring road, and now the other politicians are now saying we need a second ring road, and everybody's saying no. But guess what the politicians are doing?
Go ahead.
No, they're saying no because they want to get
yeah.
Right. So some politicians will do what's right, but some other ones will be like, some very few will actually say no. Long term, we need this.
Yeah.
And of course, there's things that, if you're going to have. Like that was the thing here, right? There was one neighbor that kind of rallied a whole bunch of neighbors because one neighbor didn't want us there, and they made this whole fictitious thing about we're causing problems in the neighborhood. Well, we in the court we proved that there was more problems in one road over, and and farther away from us than there was here. So it wasn't true, but that was just when people believe it, they want to believe.
I call that the mob mentality.
Yeah. So, I mean. One of my thinking is okay. So first of all, if we could, let's just say we had the perfect solution and we could solve the homeless problem in Sarnia.
Yep.
If we did that, guess what would happen? Everybody from London would come to Sarnia, and then everybody from Toronto would come to Sarnia. The next thing you know, we'd have like 10,000 homeless people that are coming for the perfect solution. So even if we had the perfect solution, we really couldn't do it. So unless we can get all the municipalities on board, because that's the one problem with you take. With Vancouver, they did safe injection sites and free drugs. Well, everybody migrated there, and it's such a problem on Hastings Street there because they just, hey, you can get free drugs in Vancouver before going out there, and what do you do? So unless every municipality had safe injection sites, everyone had free drugs, which I still don't think is right. I mean, I'm like 60% for safe injection sites, but I'm 20 to 40% against it because
Yeah, it's a hard. I find that one a hard kind of conundrum because, right, you've got some severe addicts where the cutoff would be harmful, but at the same time, like you said, right, if you're making it readily available, where's the motivation to really stop?
Yeah, I took a mountain climbing course, and then with that you wear safety gear, right? You wear harnesses and helmets. And one of the discussions we had is sometimes those things are actually more detrimental because you take more chances. So if I know that I don't have any safety gear and I could fall, I'm probably going to be less reckless. That's the problem with Narcan kits. People can be more reckless because there's Narcan kits.
Yeah.
And so does Narcan kits really actually help in the end? And they cost like $70 or something.
Yeah, each. Yeah.
And it's like, and then they just give them out like candy, and then I'd say probably half of them get wasted. And then, so is it really helping? I don't think it is. So my solution for Sarnia would be make 3 encampments. Say Rainbow Park, I would say let's buy Homes Foundry, split it so that you have like the three parts. Where you have one part is an encampment, one part's kind of like a neutral zone, and one part's a camp.
Mm-hmm.
Because not everybody get along in the same
Mm-hmm.
place, right?
Yep.
Sometimes you just got personalities. You know, you need to have like like Joe and Fred can't get along, so Joe can live in this encampment, Fred can live there. So just practically, you need string camp.
Yeah.
So you basically say, there's an encampment A, B, C. You can't camp anywhere else.
Yeah.
If you were just going to destroy it, we're going to do this. And then if the government comes along and says, because I talked to the city solicitor, and she said one of the problems is they come up with solutions, and then the courts say, oh well, this and that. I said,
Mm-hmm.
challenge the court. That's what I did with the city.
Mm-hmm.
I challenged them and said, no, you take an easy route out, and you're saying, oh no, because if people are complaining, your easy way out is okay. We're not going to do it. No, you're not getting the easy way out. I'm fighting this. So fight in court.
Yeah.
I said, let's start winning. And I said, if you don't go to the higher courts, because you don't get justice anywhere in the lower courts, you get justice in the Court of Appeals and Supreme. Yeah. So unless we start just understanding that, we start doing that, and just say, no, we're not going to take no for an answer. And I said, make it not easy for these guys. Like, the easier it is for them, the more they're going to live rough. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we have room here. They don't want to come here because we say drug-free. And why do we say drug-free? Because it was a nightmare when we didn't go drug-free. And we also, when we had this side, we only went drug-free in the last year. We found that there was guys that were trying to stay drug-free, but they were getting triggered by the guys on drugs.
The other ones, yeah.
And also, the guys on drugs, we just made it more comfortable to stay on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Staying on drugs is just a death sentence anyway.
Yeah.
So I want to help people that really want to get help. So since then, we've got a lot more people moving on here and moving into more stable housing and staying stable.
Mm-hmm.
Since we've gone drug-free. So us going drug-free has actually helped more real people. Yeah. And I always think there's like 5% are going to make it, and the other 95 probably aren't.
Yeah.
Everybody could make it, but the reality is a lot of them don't want to make it.
Yeah. And that's that's kind of the conversation that I've been having is, there are, you talk about Rainbow Park, there are people there that just don't want to, right? It's not something they want to do. And frankly, that's where, they need to be put into jail where they need to be put, right? Yeah. There are some people that probably do want it, and the fear that holds some people back. And at the end of the day, I think it's great what you guys are doing. And I love, I like the aspect of being just normal people who, and I don't mean this in a what's the word I'm looking for? I don't mean it offensively, but just regular everyday people that aren't, you're not a politician. You're not any type of person. It's just something that you wanted to do, and you're here helping out, and you're in the nitty gritty of it. And I think those are the people that we need to talk to more, because a lot of people go to the city, and one of the things that I've said from the get-go, the city, and it's funny hearing you say that, because the city can't do a whole lot because of the court cases. But you are right, and that's something that I haven't even really considered myself, is fight it. Take it to court and fight it. And I think whether it's a fear or it's just the political side of things, the cost of courts and all of that, but at the same time, the cost of having an injunction, the cost of having Rainbow Park, the cost of all of these things, it's all going to cost. So where do you want to spend your money? And I do think that's a takeaway for me is why not just take that stand and fight the court and say, okay, what's happening at Rainbow Park, it's going to happen. You and I both know this isn't going away anytime soon. And I agree, having some sort of an area, and the Homes Foundry would probably be a great spot too. I think the biggest issue many people have is, well, it's right in the middle of a neighborhood and it's a children's park, but
that way, but the Homes Foundry is pretty remote. There's going to be a few neighbors impacted, but they're right by the police station.
Yeah.
And it's like right at a highway there.
Yeah. So
for them to cross and go over, so you got like three sides there that really has nothing.
Yeah.
And then the other side has still got a lot of, so there's not that many housing. So I think that now they're going to say, well, somebody bought it. Oh, that's so what?
Yeah.
Buy it. Well, what does it? Land always appreciates. It's an investment. Any land is an investment for the city. Just buy it.
100%.
Well,
I know you got to go, and I'm very grateful for just having a moment, getting a tour, and I hope this is something that I'm going to keep doing, and just because it's different, right? I'm not news. I'm not anybody special, but I think getting to the people is more important than just telling individual stories. And at the end of the day, I think what you guys are doing is commendable. I think we need to keep building on that. And one of the biggest things that you said here too that I hope people take away from is fear. We can't let fear hold us back, no matter what that looks like. If you're an addict, it's fear that keeps a lot of people in that park. We've got to overcome our fear. It's fear that keep people like yourself who imagine if you had stuck to your fear, where would all of the people that you've been able to help over the years be? So yeah, I greatly appreciate your time and your efforts, and thank you. Awesome.